Welcome to the Tom Bernard Podcast with the family and
co-host Catherine Brandt.
Andy Brandt Bernard.
And Kristen Burt.
See, there we go.
And it's been an interesting day already, and it's 10:30 a.m.
Why? What's interesting?
Well, Alex had her migraine,
Yeah.
so
Her
she's gonna be late.
Semi-annual ocular migraine.
I pulled out of my driveway and I got a tire pressure warning, and I'm like, that's strange. What's my tire pressure? It was 0.
Oh,
0?
Yep.
That's-
I got out of my car. I was like, oh, great, the sensor's broken. Nope, my tire's just completely flat. So I had to go back home and take the van instead. So, yep, that was interesting. I've never had a flat tire before. This is my first one.
it seems like I've had none forever, and then all of a sudden you have 2 or 3 in a row. I don't know what that is.
That nail gets in the tire every once in a while. And you're
Yep,
like,
every so often.
I tell you, back when I was a kid, everybody had flat tires all the time.
Oh, God, you see people driving on the highway. They're 60 miles an hour driving a truck with a tire that you can see. It's like someone kneading dough. It's like you are going to kill someone if you don't get that thing checked out.
Kristen Burt Entertainment News brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender. What's happening, Kristen?
Oh, lots of good things. I think this is kind of exciting. Andy, this will kind of fall into your family's. Ethan is almost there, like going to the movies all the time. PG movies are making a comeback, which is kind of cool.
They sure are.
That is good. Good.
Big time. And so, a lot of times kids' movies have been labeled PG-13. Hollywood's been leaning into PG and family friendly, and people are showing up to the box office. We've seen this. We saw it last year with Inside Out 2 and Despicable Me 4, but we've seen it this year with Lilo and Stitch and a Minecraft movie. And Hollywood is finally paying attention because for a long time after the pandemic, families didn't show up back at the movies. Mm-hmm. And understandably, the expense is certainly there, but we still have several other PG movies coming this summer. How to Train Your Dragon. Pixar has Elio, and then The Bad Guys 2. So I think that this is going to be a really big year, big comeback for PG movies.
That's interesting. Are they still doing they get to swear, I don't know, 6 times to keep it PG before it has to go PG-13?
PG-13, they can say shit so many times.
Yeah.
They can only say the F word one time.
Well, they shouldn't be able to say that at all.
PG, I don't think they can say any hard swears.
Okay.
They might be able to say hell like a couple times.
Maybe damn.
Maybe damn.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but
not.
No.
Not
I wonder,
else.
PG swearing rules, I bet I could find out.
There you
Yes,
go.
MPAA will have it on their
Mild
website.
bad language. Have you ever read some of the criteria for the ratings for the movies? There's some weird stuff out there.
Well, it seems like it's getting, everything's getting raunchier and raunchier and raunchier.
Well, that is definitely true. But I mean, like the specific rules of like how many examples of this thing you're allowed to have before it bumps you up one rating.
Smoking, drinking, sexual situations. There's definitely like a barometer for each of them. And it's kind of interesting.
And there's people out there who are like writing down every single time someone mentions like a boob or something like that. And like, there's 4. You're going up to PG-13.
We got 4 boobs.
Yep, exactly.
But when I was a kid, rated R that's where the only place you could drop an F-bomb.
Yeah.
Like you could not drop one in a PG-13 movie.
Yeah.
I feel like that has slid under the radar now.
Yeah, but like one of the MPAA ratings that I remember reading was grotesque images. Like specifically, not like horrific or violent. They're grotesque, which would be like, I don't know, a face that is like, disfigured or something like that.
Well, we watched Louder Milk.
Right.
And I think the last episode we watched, a little kid jumped up and said, "Shut the F up," in his classroom. And I didn't think that little kids could say the F word.
They can. I think as long
That's
as
weird.
like their parents signed off on it, in the script.
Oh,
You're fine.
Oh, all right.
That's a weird deal.
Well, you think about some of the situations or some of the movies where kids are in. I always think of Room. Did you ever see that movie where Brie Larson was being held and her son in like a little shed? by a kidnapper. And I mean, it was clearly like that she was being sexually assaulted while living there. I mean, she won an Oscar for this movie. And, you know, you think of like the little kid that's doing that, and they have to sit there and, you know, I'm sure that the parents didn't have him read the full script, but, you know, there are situations where I always think the parents really have to somehow explain some of this because he needs to act, but at the same time, they can't have like all of the action going on around him. It's probably just the kid and the camera and the director, or like the kid and the mom and the director, and not the actual action going on, because
I hope not.
I know.
Yeah.
You know, great moment just popped into my head going to St. Joseph's and St. Anne's Catholic School as a kid. I remember one time, I remember the kid's name. He was a friend of mine, all the rest of it. He said, "Oh, hell." And the nun came over and said, "You need to go see Mother Superior right now."
No.
He said, "Hell," and you'd have thought he dropped about 5 F-bombs. They were not tolerating any of that at those schools.
Swearing when I was growing up in my neighborhood was just the worst thing you could do.
Well, I remember as late as 2005 in video games, there was a game that came out called Shadow the Hedgehog. 2005, and in it he says, "Where's that damn 4th Chaos Emerald?" And kids were like freaking out that a video game character could say damn.
Yeah.
And now, you know, at this point, it's anything goes.
Right.
But it's just funny to think only 20 years ago, the word damn in a video game was causing like a big stir.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is the world better for being able to just let it
it's
fly?
It's too much at this point. It's way too much.
Well, I mean, if a kid's dropping F-bombs at school and you have a household where you're like, listen, you can't swear, and then they pick it up just because kids are dropping it in the classroom, that's tough.
We shall take a break. Be right back. More with Kristen Burt right after this. From Bradshaw and Bryant, Michael Bryant. What's up, Pally?
Oh, not much. Doing my usual thing of telling people they shouldn't be texting and driving. In Minnesota, you can't have your phone in your hands. You can use, hands-free, but you can't have your phone in your hands for whatever reason. And that's why they made the law the way they did, so that police officers could see a phone in your hand and you got no excuse for why you got it there.
Do people know that that's the law?
I hope so. I mean, they used to follow it, and then kind of COVID kind of made people forget, and now it's like a freewheeling world out there with cell phones.
Let's say you get pulled over because you do have a phone in your hand and you're not watching where you're going. You got to be in pretty big trouble then, I would guess.
Well, the first one's not as bad. It's the multiple ones, the problem. And once people start stacking them up, then they have a big problem. And then what we're doing in car accidents is we've started bringing motions for punitive damages, because I'm trying to use the civil law any way we can to stop this, because it needs to stop.
Whenever I'd had any problems in my life, who was that I called again? It was like an MB, something like that.
Bradshaw and Bryant.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about Jack's, the godfather of Northeast, family owned since 1933, an original Minneapolis steakhouse, a place to celebrate and create memories for over 90 years now. 90 years. Just minutes from Target Field for a pre- or post-game meal, perfect prime rib, serving steaks, chops, fresh seafood. You can even net your own trout from Jack's Garden Stream and have it prepared for you minutes later. You can enjoy happy hour in the bar or an award-winning patio Wednesday through Sunday. Private party rooms from $25 to $275, perfect for weddings, groom's dinner, business dinners, or all celebrations. And every time I read that, I think of Sid Hartman, because Sid and I used to go to Jack's all the time. I miss you, Sydney. Weekend brunch Saturday and Sunday. Jack's, the godfather of Northeast. Ladies and gentlemen, Kristen Bird Entertainment News brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Alex made it. How you doing?
I'm swell.
Yeah, that attitude, you sound really swell.
No, I'm. It's fine. I just twice a year I get an ocular migraine ever since college, and I had one today.
I've had 3 in my life.
They're fun.
The ocular
They're
ones?
awful.
Yeah, where you just suddenly can't read anymore.
Yeah, well, and it's sometimes, because I'm generally sensitive to light anyway. So I was Sage and I were doing a stretch, and then I looked up and I saw, and the lights were kind of weird.
Yep, that's how you know.
And I was like,
Here it comes.
And then all of a sudden, it's always my left eye, and it starts in my peripheral vision, and then it just spreads over my left eye. My right eye doesn't really get it that bad. And then the headache after it isn't really, it's like a dull mild headache, but I'm like, I can't do anything
Yeah.
when the vision thing is going on because it's like I can't see.
Yeah, I remember the first time it happened to me. I was playing a game. This was like probably almost 20 years ago at this point. And all of a sudden, I was having trouble reading the words in the game.
Yeah.
Like, not like they were fuzzy or anything, but
Yeah.
like I would look at them and it would just like take extra brain power to read them.
Yes.
And I'm like, what the hell's going on? And then all of a sudden, my vision started strobing in the periphery.
Yes.
And I'm like, I know what this is.
I know, and Dan was trying to talk to me about camping this morning, and he was talking to me about like good foods that would be good to bring and blah blah blah, and I just like could not focus on what he was
Yeah.
talking about, and I was like,
It's like your senses, like they reach your brain.
Yeah.
But then it's like when you use a computer that's overloaded and it takes like, you click on something and 5 seconds later it actually happens. It's kind of like that.
Yeah, and then I took a shower after I worked out, and then all of a sudden I like it started, and I was like, oh, that's why I felt weird all morning.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. By the way, if you'd like to jump in and be part of the show, you can text us 612-361-6622, or you can call in and be live on the show, 952-977-9381. Anything you want to talk about, text or call us now. That'd be
Or
great.
go to our site, click on the chat button, and join me in the chat.
There you go.
We're
You can do
talking
that.
about my flat tire at the moment.
Yes, we were. We were indeed.
I have something weird called run flat tires.
Yeah.
I guess
Yeah,
I
you
can go
do.
50 miles an hour for quite some time, so I can find somebody to fix
Yeah, they're
my...
useful so you don't need to replace the tire just so you can go to a place and then buy another tire.
Yeah, because I was complaining at the Lexus dealership. I said, I don't have a spare tire. He's like, well, that's because you've got run flats.
Yeah. You technically don't need a spare if you have run flats.
Okay. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
See,
been a
that's
thing
pretty good.
because I used to work for Toyota when I
Oh.
hosted their show, and Toyota I think has had those probably about 20 years or so, 15 years
It's
maybe.
a great idea.
Yeah, they're awesome.
What
Yeah,
is
I
there?
think-
Is
I
there
think-
like a tire inside a tire? Is that how it works?
Hey, tire carver, what's a run flat like?
Yeah, because he would know.
But I think there's there's a downside to them, I think.
Oh, great.
Well, of course, there's a downside to everything,
That's true.
Well, I think the problem too is people have a tendency, if with run flat tires and you've got like that 50 to 60 mile buffer, they have a tendency to go to like
Yeah.
125 miles. And that's when you run into trouble because then you're going to start affecting the rim and everything else. And
Yep.
Yeah.
Once the rim starts touching the ground, you got real problems. In fact,
Yeah.
I wonder if my rim is okay at this point. I mean, I drove like a block on a flat tire.
Oh, there we go.
There you have it. So what else is happening, Kristen Burt?
Good news for those who watch Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune. These shows, it's unbelievable to me why they're still making news. You know,
I
they're going
know.
into in the fall their 42nd and 43rd season, and people are obsessed with them. So much so that Sony just made a deal with both Hulu on Disney Plus, and Peacock to show the new episodes, which is the first time ever, next day. So if you're someone who hasn't been able to watch Wheel of Fortune or Jeopardy on your local broadcast channel, you're going to be able to watch it on streaming next day. Plus, they're going to add some of the old school episodes as a part of the library on all of those streaming platforms.
That's a good thing.
It is a good thing.
I'm not going to watch Wheel of Fortune anymore. That was my dad and my
Pat
thing.
Sajak.
Well, everybody that went to his house during
Yep.
Wheel of Fortune had to
Oh,
watch
yeah.
Wheel of Fortune.
That's probably the last thing he ever actually watched was Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah, you had it set up so that his
we'd record
Alexa
that.
just
Yep.
turned it on
You turned on
automatically.
Wheel of Fortune.
The Rosary and Wheel of Fortune came on.
And the show's done very well. I'm surprised how seamless the transition was between Pat Sajak and Ryan Seacrest. They have seen ratings go up this year with Ryan
Oh.
Seacrest at the helm,
Well,
which
that's
is
gotta make
unusual.
That's got to make Pat mad.
What was the other guy? The guy just died. He had curly black hair. What show was he on? He was really
Oh,
good.
Alex Trebek?
Alex Trebek,
He didn't
yeah.
have black
he
hair,
didn't black.
did he?
Well, he did it one time.
it was-
yes.
yeah.
Before my time, I suppose he probably had black hair.
Yeah,
There you
he
go.
was. He was
Yeah, he's been
Jeopardy.
silver for a while.
Wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, wasn't he?
He was
Jeopardy?
Jeopardy, yes.
Yeah.
He was Jeopardy,
he
and
was
then Ken
great.
Jennings took over.
Yes,
And
yes.
for a while, it was Mayim Bialik and Ken Jennings. Mayim stepped back during the SAG strike because she didn't want to cross the writers,
Right.
or during the writer's strike, I should say. She didn't want to cross the
Picket
picket
line.
line, and Ken did, and he kept the job, and she didn't.
Oh, well.
My God.
We have a phone call.
Oh,
All
good.
right.
It's Tire Carver.
Oh.
We have to lean on you, Tire Carver. You know all this stuff, and we know nothing.
I hate when that happens.
I bet
Daily
you
occurrence,
do.
really.
I bet you do. So what's happening?
Run flat tires, when you get when they do go flat,
Yeah.
they're basically made to go to a tire store and have them replaced.
Yeah.
Sure.
They're not for being repaired, because the sidewall construction is so much stronger than a normal tire
Oh,
that with a tire off the rim, if I push down on the center of the tread, I could push it all the way through itself to the floor.
Oh.
I can sit on a run flat tire that's not mounted to a rim, and
Wow.
it doesn't deflect at all.
Oh.
And I'm 260 pounds.
Okay.
So they're, it's just the construction of the tire is completely different.
did they last longer or shorter because of that rigidity? I
Depends
guess?
on how you drive.
Like a maniac?
Yes.
Well, yeah, like
How's that
me.
work?
yeah, that's
That
nice.
that just shortens the life of everything on a car.
That's
I
true.
don't think I drive like a maniac.
No, you don't.
You only drift sometimes.
You are the most difficult person to follow.
That
ever,
is
though.
very true.
Okay, so maybe
Even-
a little bit of a maniac.
I was out with a friend I was out with Paige the other day, and she had to follow me somewhere because we started one place and then we had to go to another. And she's like, every time I have to follow someone, I think about your mom and how difficult she is to follow in a car.
Yeah, there
Wow,
you
I've got
go.
a reputation.
You
know.
do.
There
you go.
I didn't
Yeah,
know.
it's
Because you're like, oh, almost red light, bye.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you don't think, oh, I have someone following me. I should not go through this.
Well, that's because you spend time in Florida. If you stop for an
Yeah.
almost red light, you die. Somebody
Yes.
will
Run
rear
right
end you
over you.
because
Absolutely.
3 cars usually go through a red light.
Oh.
Yeah,
That
in
whole thing
Florida.
is so dangerous. LA is like that too.
Yep.
And to the point that now, if I'm the first person in line at the red light, I will go 1, 2, 3 because
Yep.
people are speeding through, and I'm like, I am not
Yep.
getting T-boned today.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly right. I always look both ways before
yeah.
I do the
I
green
always
light.
I'll look both ways on a one-way, and Melissa's always like, you don't need to look both ways. And I'm like, have you lived in Florida?
Yeah,
Have you
it'll,
ever
it'll
been to
teach you
Florida?
some things.
that's very
You
true.
driven with Sid Hartman?
Oh, I
Yeah.
have. So is Catherine.
That's
There's
right.
no doubt about it.
was
That great story that Tyre's
eye-opening.
talking about, Kristen, I don't know if we ever told you, that I had just met Catherine, and Sid calls me and goes, Sid, did you know Sid Hartman when you were in town, Kristen?
I didn't.
Oh, Sidney was I do miss him. Died at 100 years old.
Amazing.
But
Good job, Sid.
he said, Bernard, I'm going to pick you up. I said, why? I have a date with me. He goes, well, don't worry about it. We'll just drive together. I didn't remember where we're going.
He took us to that Italian restaurant in Dinkytown.
Oh, that's what it was.
He wanted to go to a
So
restaurant.
we get there, and he had this big Lincoln Continental or whatever
Of course
it
he
was.
did.
A boat.
And
Yeah.
the back seat was floor to ceiling with boxes of material,
papers,
papers,
just papers
right?
everywhere.
So Catherine had to sit on my lap
In the front seat.
in the front seat,
Uh-huh.
and he takes off. First thing he does is turn into a one-way the wrong way.
and
Catherine goes,
I pointed it out.
you pointed it out, and he goes, don't worry about it. I'm Sid Hartman.
Yeah, he's like, they know me around here. I'm like, oh, well,
That
there
doesn't
might,
stop an accident.
there might be somebody that doesn't know you
Yeah.
in town.
I really
So
miss
he
Sidney.
drives like Mr. Magoo, is what you're
Yeah.
telling me.
Yeah.
It always just works
Yep.
out somehow.
Yep.
I miss Sidney, though. Chad Hartman, his son, and I are still really good friends, and that's wonderful. But we used to go to the deli, Lincoln Dell, and meet with Sid. And I mean, the people that I used to bring over to meet Sid Hartman, like national movie stars, musicians, all the rest of it, they all wanted to meet Sid Hartman because he was that legendary. Everybody knew who he was.
That's amazing.
It
I
is
love when cities have like these legendary local broadcasters. Every
Yes.
celebrity knows them. They've been through it.
Yep.
I think we're starting to lose that
We
now.
absolutely
you know?
are.
Yeah, we
yes.
are.
Yeah.
Now, Tyre, I did notice. I looked at my watch just now. It's exactly 6 months away from Christmas caramel season, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty close.
Well,
Between Thanksgiving and Christmas.
but yeah, that's true. So the 4th of
Christmas caramel.
the 4th of December would be right between Thanksgiving and Christmas. So Christmas caramel season. I'll just be sitting here waiting. That's all I have to
Well,
say.
you got to stay in Minnesota for that.
Yeah, we do. You're absolutely
That's
right.
true. If you're not here, you can't get it.
We have freezers.
Can you ship
there
it?
you go.
Is it shippable?
Never tried freezing them.
Oh.
Oh God, they're wonderful. Kristen Bird, if you like caramels, you got to give this a whirl. The greatest Tire Carver has the greatest caramels I've ever tasted.
Now I call it caramel.
Yeah, caramel.
We say
yeah,
caramel over here.
Yeah, caramel.
Yeah, I was like, I call it caramel, but I love caramel. It's my favorite.
It always makes me think of the ad with, was it Michael Jordan? No,
Yeah,
it was Shaq.
it was Shaq,
It was
yep.
Shaq. Caramel, caramel, caramel. Because there was a kid who says caramel and Shaq says caramel, and that was the ad. I don't even know what it was an ad for. I just remember Shaq saying caramel.
Yeah.
That's
So, that's,
It's
I
a
guess
wonderful thing.
maybe it worked on me that back then, but it didn't stay. The product.
The product.
All right, so Kristen's got to go, and we have a guest.
Kristen's got to go already. It's not even
I know, we
11 o'clock
we
yet.
Well,
started
because we had a
late.
pre-show to the show. 'cause
Yeah,
we were
we
walking.
sure did.
That's what
That's
happened.
right, we
so
did.
it was not aired. So.
We did. You're right. Well,
But I just want to let everyone know there is a new golf comedy that has dropped on Apple TV Plus, starring Owen Wilson. He plays up a washed-up golf pro who takes a golf prodigy under his wing, and it is funny. So if you're looking for something fun and new to watch, it's already on Apple TV Plus today.
Isn't that basically Billy Madison or whatever? Not Billy Madison.
Golf is so hot right now between Full Swing,
Yeah.
Billy Madison.
It is Billy Madison.
People are diving into the golf stories. I think sports stories, because we also had like the Kate Hudson Running Point show. I just feel
yeah.
like sports
Yep.
comedies right now
It's back.
it's back. It's back, baby.
Indeed. Well, we'll miss you until tomorrow.
I'll see you all tomorrow. Have a good one. Feel better, Alex.
Thank you.
There you go. Kristen Bird Entertainment News brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. We shall take a break. We'll be right back. A very special guest just walked into studio. He's not on the screen yet, but he will be. We'll be right back right after this. Let me tell you about my bank, North American Banking Company. When it comes to banking, it's all about trust, and that's what you get with them. They've been around since 1998. They've always made it clear they're here to give you a better banking experience with a focus on the local community, and you won't be dealing with some AI chatbot. You'll get straight answers and quick decisions from real people that know you and your situation and are always ready to help. So if you're tired of the big national banks and want something better, stop by and see my friends at North American Banking Company. Visit nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Many car dealers try to create an extreme sense of urgency. Does anybody really buy it?
We gotta sell 100 cars by Saturday to get the boss off the roof. Or, you'll never see these rebates again. And oh yeah, your trade will never be worth more.
Really? I asked Jim Paul from Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley and Valley GMC in Hastings his thoughts.
I don't even know what to say. I hope folks are smarter than that.
Has there really ever been a time when it was urgent?
Probably not. But this tariff environment might be a first. Valley has several hundred pre-tariff units on the ground. Who knows what's going to happen with the tariffs, but these are really safe buys. Going forward, Valley's committed to make whatever the situation is as painless as possible, like we've always done.
Where can we find you then?
Get them pre-tariff. Hurry, hurry, hurry. When they're gone, they're gone. And man...
At a Valley store in Apple Valley or Hastings or valleycardealers.com. Certainly not on a roof.
Hey, local business owners, want to get your name in front of the Tom Bernard podcast audience? Well, we're hosting a summer online auction in a couple of weeks, and it's the perfect way for you to get involved. Just provide a product, service, or gift card, and we'll put it up for auction to our listeners and viewers. If your item sells, you'll receive trade advertising equal to the full retail value of what was sold. That means more exposure for your business without spending a dime out of pocket. Just trading items for advertising, it's easy, it's fun, and it's a win-win for everybody. To get to get more information, all the information, that's all I'm saying. Visit our website, click on the Advertise With Us button, and we'll get back to you. Don't miss out. Join the Tom Bernard online summer auction today. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. There's a guy. Oh, he just popped up on the screen, so you know it's darkness, Dave.
There he is.
Hi.
Been a while.
Yeah, quite a while.
What the hell are you doing?
Well, you know, you work in the corporate world and there's rules and regulations, and then you
That's
get
true.
freedom again and you're allowed to go visit friends on their show, so it's fun.
What corporate world were you working in?
Well, you know, radio. It's fun. So,
Yeah. I want to ask you about that, as a matter of
Please.
fact, because there are many, many things about that business, and I still have a lot of friends in the business.
Uh-huh.
But A 10 share doesn't mean what a 10 share used to mean.
No.
Honest to God, if you had a 10 share back in the days, and again at KQ we had a 40 share, the highest in the nation, that was millions of people.
Right.
Now a 10 share is, what is a 10 share now? 100,000 people?
Yeah, if you're lucky.
Yeah,
sure.
if that.
Yeah, probably not even that much, is it? A 10 share only brings you less than 100,000 people. That is sad. Radio's almost over, isn't it?
Radio and TV.
And television,
The TV
yes.
industry's just sucking
Yep.
wind right now, being part of that as well, watching what's going on out there. I mean, reality TV's pretty dead unless you're a Kardashian.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, so most of the other shows are dying, and then your regular, even scripted TV's being canceled. And a lot of these networks will do shows for 3 seasons and then cancel them because after the 3rd season they have to start paying you more. So they sign
there
Dave
you
and
go.
Tom to do the Dave and Tom show
Yep.
for 3 seasons, pay us blah blah blah, and then when our contract is due to renew for 5 times what they promised us, they always seem to cancel it right at that point. So
What a
TV's just
shock.
spinning people through. Yeah.
What a shot. Yeah, it's a totally different world now. It is unbelievable. Back in the day, if you were on a strong morning show or, local television news, local television news has very few viewers now,
Yeah.
which makes me sad because I have a lot of friends in that industry. But I couldn't believe how quickly all of a sudden it just hit the wall. I saw some people talking about advertising at one of the top 5 stations in the market. They're saying there's very little money to get out there now.
Yeah.
So is it all going to the internet? Is it all going to podcasting? I mean,
You and I know that's not the truth, right? I mean,
there you go.
You
That takes a
wish.
little hard.
there's money in it if you're doing crazy stuff. I get people all the time. They're like, "Why don't you do paranormal show?" These guys, Sam and Colby are huge paranormal guys on the internet and for that stuff. But a lot of that is just overreaction stuff. It's
right,
a lot of stuff
right.
that
I
I'm
love
not
that.
doing when I do an investigation. So it's hard to kind of fit into that. Kind of that gap of what people are watching for. And man, if I've said I've missed my calling because if I had a time machine, I was the guy that would have been on TikTok and YouTube in the day doing fun, stupid videos, and I'd be a multimillionaire.
Right.
I watch all these kids that look like they're about 18 to 25 and they're buying their 3rd house. And the one girl I follow, she and that just sounded very stalkery, but I mean I watch her story. She
there you go.
She has bought every version of like every car that was in the Back to the Future movies.
Oh yeah, yep.
Replicas of even the truck that Marty drove, the cars. It's great, and that's just from the people that are watching and sending gifts. And I have friends who are they'll go on TikTok and do a live, and throughout the entire live, it would be the equivalent of you and I being on the radio going, "Hey, Tom, how you doing? Good to see you. Hey, by the way, send us some hearts right now. As a matter of fact, the 10th heart, we're going to mention your name on the air. Yeah, hearts are important, aren't they, Tom?" And you watch this, and people are there by 10, 20,000 people, and they're sending hearts or bouquets or
Right.
sombreros, and you're getting money for that every time they make a donation. I don't know. The world's crazy right now.
So we have the internet right now, but radio is, and again, the only reason I bring this up, I wish them all well. I have a lot of friends in the business.
Yeah.
But it's just dropping like a rock. Local television, well, television in general has got big problems because ABC, NBC, CBS, unless they're on one of the sites, Netflix or Roku or one of them, they're not getting anything done. I could not believe how quickly, and there are no newspapers left. That's the other thing.
Right.
So my question is this, and what I'm trying to get to is there are no newspapers out there, very little radio listening because, podcasting came along. You got, like I said, the local news doesn't matter at all. Am I supposed to tune into the national news and believe what they're saying? Because those people lie more than anybody.
Yeah, everybody's got an agenda. It's tough to figure at this point. I don't know.
is.
What's really sad about radio, right? What we grew up listening to and being a part of was personality driven.
No question.
And now it's, people are tuning in and out every 8 minutes, so you can only do an 8 minute. And when you come back, Tom, don't talk about that anymore. We're not talking about Bruce Springsteen and Donald Trump. Now you got to talk about, Ziggy Marley for 7 minutes or whatever.
You need a new TikTok clip to generate. We're not going to bleed over. Yep.
Yeah, that's crazy. And it used to be people tuned in because they like to hear the dynamic go through the entire show.
Right.
When
Right.
music was kind of almost secondary to morning shows and things like that. And then it became heavy
was.
that all the entertainment overtook the personality.
Yeah, I feel like all of this started when the whole world started turning ADHD.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not to be mean to us with ADHD, but
I'm sorry, what were you saying? I was thinking about squirrels.
but I mean seriously,
Yeah.
everything became louder and tinier and more just in your face, and I think just that adrenaline rush or whatever it does to their heads.
Yeah, it feeds that
that's-
endorphin deal. That's
Yeah,
what they talk about. Is
Yep.
that's why you watch for how many people liked your video and how many people are tuning in. And
Right.
yeah, it's
That's why people go to X to get their news now, because they don't want to sit through
Yeah, that's right.
a half-hour news.
you mean they
show.
go to X to read the headline?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, they
the
do.
headline. That's
Yeah.
it.
They just scroll through the headlines and they know everything that's happening like right
Yep.
away.
Tom
because-
Bernard eats babies. Wow. Oh wait, if I expand it, it says baby back ribs.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
who has the time to
Exactly.
expand that?
Exactly.
right?
They don't care. And then they
That's it.
comment quick,
Yeah.
they rage bait, they
Yeah.
rage click, and then they're on to the next thing. Yeah.
Why did they want to make it so easy to lie to people to make money?
To make
To make money.
But
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
You just answered your
I
own
don't think they
question.
want to. They'd go with whatever. If good news sold,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
like the
It
old
doesn't.
saying is, if it bleeds, it leads.
Yeah,
People
that's true.
like tragedy. They like
They do.
a fight. They like.
Yep.
We've pandered right into the whole lowest common denominator aspect of everything has to be a quick flash. You don't need full information. I know I had
No.
I got into an online battle recently with somebody, which was so dumb to waste my time doing, but I had posted in response to the Pride Month and everything like that, and I got, they're forcing it in our children down their throats at school, and I'm like, can you show me an actual article? I'm just curious, and I mean it sincerely. If you can show me this, and it's not just a meme or a headline you've read somewhere, what is the actual article? What is the actual news story? Oh, wait, what about the transvestites that are reading to our kids in school? And I go, who? What transvestites are reading to kids in school? That was one time. And everybody makes it sound like it was an ongoing thing. It's just they brought in a personality. They brought me into my kid's school as a paranormal investigator. And I'm sure
That's unacceptable.
Right. That'll rankle
Yeah,
some people
exactly.
because of what
Oh,
I'm
I
doing.
bet.
But
I bet.
it's just whatever is the flashpoint. And then this guy just kept charging at me. And I said, but you're not giving me any facts. You're just telling me your thoughts.
It's so you're
So
like,
show me where it legitimately says
Right.
that schools are telling kids, you should be gay, you should be trans, you should be. They're not, but they're telling you if you are, it's okay.
Right.
There's a difference with that, right?
but you're right. You are wasting your time
Yeah.
Yes.
because they're all like
Internet
everybody's
conversations,
entrenched in
yeah.
their beliefs, and they're not going to change.
Yeah.
Just because
Logic be damned.
That's pretty much true.
Yeah.
If you have any questions or things to say to Dave, Darkness Dave, while he's here, you can text us 612-361-6622, or you can call in and ask him directly at 952-977-9381. So we're coming up, and I always say this to you every year. As soon as June kicks in, I start thinking about Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas. I do.
Wow.
I'm way
Let's just-
months ahead of it.
Let's just
That's
zip
because
through
we're
that
parents
summer.
and grandparents. Yeah.
Yeah,
We're already
exactly.
thinking, how much do I got to spend coming up in the next
Well,
5-6 months?
That's part of
Yep.
it. That is part of it. But maybe it's I've been running around like a madman, but I don't see much talk about paranormal stuff anymore. Like for a while, it was really hot. And has it faded a little bit, or is it just
The interest hasn't faded.
Right.
What happened, and a lot of people think that the paranormal TV shows failed. What happened was Travel Channel, which was the home
Oh, yeah.
for it, their corporate company, Discover Networks, bought HBO Warner Brothers.
Oh.
And when they bought that, they ended up buying $50 billion in debt, and then found out that the numbers that HBO said they had as subscribers were greatly inflated. Because, like, if you buy an iPhone, you can get HBO free, right? Or there were these different deals that you could get.
Sure.
Well, they were counting that. Well, that
Yep.
wasn't real money. So if you inflate it by an extra 2 million subscribers, and you think, well, what is that in the cosmic scheme? Well, at $10 a month,
Yeah.
2 million subscribers is a lot of money that's not coming into the
$20
right
million
place.
a month.
Right.
Yeah.
So Discovery Networks had to start cutting, and they took their top shows, which were Ghost Adventures and Expedition Unknown and Expedition X and
Right.
Expedition Bigfoot, which if I ever do another show, it's going to start with Expedition something, right?
Yes.
They moved that all over to Discovery Channel. And Travel Channel is just kind of reruns of all of their old shows, so they don't have to pay for any new programming. So that's kind of what did that. So it's still popular. And part of the reason that Travel Channel blew up into the Paranormal Channel was David Zaslav came in, looked at the numbers, and he's like, so let me get this straight. Reruns of Ghost Adventures from 3 years ago are outperforming the Dave and Tom travel show right now. The brand new episode just dropped where Dave and Tom get locked in Loch Ness Bay in a submersible and they can't get out. They got 100,000 viewers, and a rerun from 3 years ago got 3.8 million views. So why are we not doing more paranormal? And that's what they did. They started adding paranormal and their numbers started going up. But in the cosmic scheme, their network, all the networks and all the shows that they have, Travel Channel was like their least income. So they just started paring away things. And that's where it comes down to. So it's still popular, and I still have listeners and viewers, and YouTube has tons of shows that are popping up. And there are other streaming services like Stream Beacon TV. I'll have a new show on that later this year, starting mid-September. It'll go through October. Cindy Kaza, Shane Pittman, and I from the Holzer Files got back together. We're filming this 6-episode series that'll start airing on that streaming service. Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just feel like all of this, like you said, jockeying for position, all of these media companies, like Disney dumped their radio, and then somebody buys the radio, and then they buy the debt, and then they offload it to some hedge fund, and then the hedge fund somehow turns everything into a $20 billion thing, and then they delete it. It's all just smoke and mirrors.
Well, corporate business is crazy.
It's crazy.
Tom, if you and I decided we're going to buy a haunted house together that we're going to run.
Right.
And after we get done putting all this money into it, we decide, you know what? Let's just burn it to the ground and then collect the insurance money on it.
Yeah.
We would go to jail.
Yeah.
Yep.
Warner Brothers makes a movie called Batgirl where they bring Michael Keaton back as Batman, right? One of 3 movies he's going to star in as Batman again after 30-year absence. And what they realize is, well, this movie is worth much more to us if we never release it.
Yep.
So now we can we can write that off on our books, and it'll never see the light of day.
Yep.
So that is the equivalent of us buying a haunted house, putting money into it, and then burning it for the insurance money.
So you and I are still paying the bill, though. That's what I love.
Yeah.
We're still paying the bills, but we don't get what we want.
No.
Oh, I hate this. I hate it so much.
And then they're parceling out their stuff. So every Disney's parceling out stuff. They bought stuff, and now they're some of their characters and some of their movies, now you have to watch them on Netflix. They're not even on Disney Plus anymore.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. It's very strange.
One other observation I'd like to make, and Catherine's the one that brought this up. First, we have 2 TVs in our house. One's in like a little loft area, and the other one's in my bedroom. They are completely different televisions. Mine, it's easy. You go through it and whatever. The one we have upstairs,
It's because it's Google.
it's Google.
Google
and it's
tries to
just
take
a
over
disaster.
everything. Did you
Certainly
know that
does.
Google just was? I think they're getting fined or some great big huge international lawsuit because they had microphones in their Nest thermostats.
They did.
Oh, so they'd learn what you like and what you buy, and
Keywords.
yeah, interesting.
Yep.
Oh my God!
Don't you think that that's something that they should have had to put in great big huge letters?
No,
on
why don't we
the
just get
Nest?
smarter, and everything that we have in our house, why don't we just start talking about make me a millionaire?
Yeah.
Oh,
$1 million
I say that all the time. I'm like,
Exactly.
free billions. Doesn't happen, though.
It's not something that exists.
So everything is about money. It's
sure.
all about money. It's all that matters.
Always has been, right? And all of
Yep.
these things take a curve, and I've been watching. Oh, don't worry, it's going to come back. This is the equivalent of what the internet now is the equivalent of talking or of silent movies to vaudeville.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll never take those moving pictures. Well, sound movies. Well, we're going to go back to real acting again, and everything supersedes it, right?
Yeah.
It was horse,
And we were just-
horse and wagon, cars.
We were just talking to Kristen Burt before you came in.
I'm sorry, who?
Kristen Burt about the fact that you can't just have a podcast anymore. You have to have video.
Yep.
Right.
Which,
Yeah,
of
you
course, sort of defeats. I mean, the whole purpose of podcasting was so that people could listen to it while they were working out,
Yep.
walking the dog, doing whatever, gardening. You could listen to something.
You'd think.
Now you have to be able to watch it. So, are there that many people that are just sitting at their computers watching
Yes.
podcasts?
No, not watching podcasts, watching clips 10-second clips
Right.
of podcasts.
Because they posted on social media.
It's like how no one watches John Oliver, but so many people know
Yes.
about this one bit he did this week.
Oh,
it's because
yes.
they put it on YouTube, and that gets 50 million views. The rest of the show
ADHD.
might as well not exist, but that one bit and 50 million views is still worth a lot of money. So,
The
I
A-
watch John Oliver.
The
Well, there you go.
ADHD.
so one view then.
Yep, that's what I
Okay,
was talking about
first of all,
before.
rude.
I said as a person with it. I'm not talking about that. I'm
But-
just
but
talking
the
about
thing is-
everything is just turning into like, if it.
Well, people want the voyeuristic. That's why That's why reality TV hit so well, is because it gave us an inside look. So they can look now into the Bernard family and see your faces
Right.
and see your reactions, and now they don't have to wonder: is Catherine doing a slow burn from what Tom just said? They can look at the video and see you going.
Why does
Right,
it have to be something Tom said?
I'm just throwing it out as a possibility.
Yeah,
I
there
didn't
you
want to
go.
hurt Andy's feelings by pointing him
Sure,
out, but
sure.
people like that.
Right.
Because people were on us all the time with Darkness Radio. You guys should put cameras in. I go,
I
don't you
know.
want to watch two fat bald guys sitting there looking at each other in a
Yeah.
dark room?
Yeah,
What is
Yeah.
there?
We fought
if
it
I
for
had
a long
guest,
time.
maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
But I mean, there is a good point there. If you go on the internet for more than 5 seconds, you will see someone misinterpreting extraordinarily obvious sarcasm.
Yes.
And it's like people cannot have
true.
enough cues to be told how to feel about what someone says. Even if
Yeah.
you're listening to a conversation, an audio conversation, like you're talking to a person,
Yeah.
but they can't see their face, they're still going to somehow misconstrue what's being said.
Right.
Because, like, I'm the kind of person, I don't have a whole lot of, variation to my voice. And a lot of people often thinks that means I'm, like, mad or something like that.
Right.
So they rely on other cues to determine if I'm just being, like, sarcastic or that's just how I am or whatever.
Right.
But, when you're just listening to audio on a phone, sometimes you don't know, is this person actually saying what they believe, or is this a joke, or what?
Well, that's why the emojis are so valuable with text messaging, because you can get your point across.
Yeah.
and
you
also
know.
save your marriage and friendships, because if I make sure to put an LOL at the end,
Yeah.
even though it was an obvious joke, it's saved. I've had
I
people not
know.
talk to me for months. I'm like, what's wrong? They're like, dude, that last comment. And I'm like, we were throwing back and forth to busting each other's balls. And
Right.
the whole thing was us doing this. That's our thing. And you haven't talked to me in 8 months because of that? I said,
Yep.
he goes, well, I didn't know. You didn't send me like a laughing
Yeah,
face
you
or
gotta
an
have a
LOL. I'm
little,
like,
yeah,
what?
gotta have a laughing
That is
emoji.
passive aggressive. That's all it is. I can, oh, your hair looks nice today.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I gave you a compliment, but in the tone of it, right?
Right. Yeah.
So it's the tone of the text I have to convey to you
Yep.
in an image.
Yep.
Look, this round thing is smiling with tears coming out of its eyes. So
know.
that's how funny what I just wrote is. Yeah.
Very quick break. Be right back right after this, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you about my bank, North American Banking Company. When it comes to banking, it's all about trust, and that's what you get with them. They've been around since 1998. They've always made it clear they're here to give you a better banking experience with a focus on the local community. And you won't be dealing with some AI chatbot. You'll get straight answers and quick decisions from real people that know you and your situation and are always ready to help. So if you're tired of the big bank, the big nationals, you know what I'm talking about. If you're tired of the big national banks, want something better, stop by and see my friends at North American Banking Company. Visit nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. We are back, Darkness Dave in studio. So things have been going well in life.
Yeah. I've still been traveling a lot, doing a lot of conferences, doing some filming.
Okay.
I filmed a documentary, a paranormal documentary that's basically based here in Minnesota.
Oh.
We only go out for one little segment to kind of look at a place that had UFO, ghost, and Bigfoot phenomena out in Washington State. But everything else was based right here in Minnesota.
Yes,
Warren.
Joe would like to know when that's coming out.
Right now, it's in the shopping stage. So they filmed it, they put it all together, everything's all done. They're now taking it to networks, they're taking it to streaming services, and it'll kind of go from there. They're using this as a backdoor pilot. So
Okay.
hopefully they'll like what they see, pick it up. And I do like that with this, they're letting me be me. So it's not just hard-edged, investigative reporter, which I'm not. They allowed me to be goofy and have some fun and be who I am. And we showed a couple segments to people at conferences, and it's really been well received. So we're hoping the whole thing will go well.
Well, it's fun too.
Yeah.
I mean, for me to watch that there's a show, and I don't know what the hell the name of it is, but they had come to the state of Minnesota and did some things in Little Falls and Long Prairie, and I mean, to see that kind of thing in your home state, I think is brilliant. But is that going to work nationally?
Well, it must, because the Jason Show is now. You watch it, and to me, it's a very Minnesota
It's very
show.
Minnesota, yeah.
But his personality is obviously bigger than just the Minnesota style. But it's now in like 20 different states are carrying it, and I think
Really?
what do they care about a little Minnesota show?
Right.
And that's not putting Jason down. He's a fun guy and a great entertainer, but it's just like, holy cow.
Sure.
You know, it's what is it that's capturing people in that moment? What is the look or the feel or the vibe?
Well, there was that one show, Chip and Joanna, whatever, Fixer Upper.
Oh, yeah.
They were just like in a little town in Texas.
Yep.
And it was very like, Texas-y. Everything about it was like,
Texas.
You can't,
Waco.
Yeah, it was in Waco. And you can't, like,
was?
a lot of it was like, these, shutters that only exist in, 1/4 of the state of Texas or whatever. But people all over the country loved it because a lot of people like that local feel because everything is so homogenized now that when you
true.
have a local feel, it stands out, I think.
Well, yeah, and they are international. I mean,
Oh, God, they've made
got
so
stuff,
much money.
They're
Go-
in Target. They've
Yeah,
got
they're in Target.
branded, stuff in Target. Yeah, they're big.
Yep, and so
And are they
it works.
divorced?
No, they're still together, I think.
Okay, what was the other one? There was another,
Oh, that was.
but they were
those
huge.
Two. His name was like.
And then they got
he
divorced.
had
It
a
was like,
really dumb name.
House flippers?
Dumb
Or were they
name.
house flippers?
They were house flippers.
Yeah.
His name was like Tarek or something.
Are they the ones
Eric?
that just got
Oh.
pardoned by Trump? Wasn't there like
No, they were
a married
Oh,
couple
those
that
two,
did
yeah.
flippers or
Tarek.
something?
I think his name was
Tarek and Christina, they were on Flip or Flop.
Yes, and they were
flip or
just
flop. Didn't she
horrible.
have like long blonde hair
Yes.
and very tan?
Yes.
And yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was a huge show, though.
And they just started they went away because they got divorced, and
Yes.
now I think he cheated on her, and now he's
can't do
with
that.
somebody else, but they're doing another show together, and it's all about how they can't
each
get
other's
along
guts, but
much,
they can
but
decorate like
sometimes I know,
crazy.
it's really
Yeah.
it's like it's a lot more Bravo than HGTV.
Yeah. He's dating a former Playboy playmate. They got and they got married, so there you go.
Bomb.
Yeah, it's
So
they're
there
married
you
now?
go.
It's real gross.
Oh, he had thyroid cancer. Thyroid buddies.
Oh, boy. He's just having
Not
a
good news.
what a
bad
time.
karma.
What a time.
Bad karma's coming back.
It happens.
Yeah, I was someplace and they had, I don't know, ABC News on, and there's some reality Real Housewives of something. One of their husbands just is going to jail for a huge fraud thing.
Really?
Yeah. It was all over. They
What
kept
sh-
playing it
what
and playing.
show?
It was like an older guy. Like
Real Housewives.
I'll just
It was Real
Google older
Housewives
guy
of
goes to jail for fraud.
Yeah, there you go.
Real
Find a
Real
couple.
Housewives.
Real
There's probably a couple of
Housewives.
them, honestly.
Well, while I look this up, Joe actually wanted to know about the Holzer Files, the reboot.
Oh, Paranormal Mysteries. Yeah.
On Beacon TV, apparently, right?
Yep, Stream Beacon TV. You can get it and download it on any of your smart devices or TVs. Stream Beacon is like the new home for paranormal, true crime, and horror. So they've put together this great deal, and they're having all original, and that's what we're filming the 6 episodes for. And if it goes well, we'll do more episodes together. So kind of nice to get back into the saddle with two people I love and know,
Yeah,
and
that's great.
get to go do what we love doing together. So we have 2 more episodes we're filming later on this month, and then we'll be wrapped up for the season.
We just heard of a ghost at the Lafayette Club out in Minnetonka Beach.
Oh, really?
It was an old hotel there in
Okay.
late 1800s, and it
that
burned
old?
down.
Oh, God, it's
well,
that
it burned
old, yeah.
down. I think maybe 3 structures were there, and they've all burned down.
Hotel Lafayette, 1883.
Yeah.
Burned
And
down in
apparently they
1883.
see there's a young girl. The chefs have seen her. People see her like pretty often. Have you ever heard of that one?
It's fun.
No.
Oh, Well,
No.
there you go.
Yeah,
Maybe
I'm always-
that's a little
I am doing. I'll
little
mention.
ghost tip for you there, Dave.
Well, that was very Minnesotan of her. There's a ghost tip for you there, Dave. I'm going to be back up to the Palmer House in October.
Oh, we got to do that this year,
with
Catherine.
Shane and Cindy. We're doing a conference that
I don't
weekend.
wanna see ghosts.
You don't see them. They'll just touch you and
I don't
let you
want
know
to be touched
they're
by
there.
a ghost.
It's 18 miles from my birthplace. Come on.
Explains a lot why it's so spooky in that area. Yeah.
So the Real Housewives thing was Tom Girardi.
Sure.
Okay.
7 years for stealing millions from clients. He's 86 years old and was the former lawyer and estranged husband of Erica Jane, whoever the hell that is.
Yeah.
But there was also Jen Shaw, a Real Housewives star, got sentenced to 6 years a couple years ago for telemarketing fraud. So
Wow.
this is the season for Real Housewives fraud.
Yeah, apparently he was taking people's settlement money. He's just taking it, not giving it to the clients. He won
feel
the
like someone
settlement
would
money for them and then
notice
just
that.
didn't give it to them.
Stealing tens of millions
Yeah.
in
You
You
settlement
did all the
funds.
work. All they did was slip and fall,
All
Catherine.
they did is
They
suffer.
did the easiest part of the job.
His
They had to go
victims
in a
included
fight.
relatives of those killed in the 2018 Lion Air crash, which killed 189 people.
Whoa,
Oh,
man,
Jesus.
you're a filthy
Nice
scumbag. Sorry.
fella.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he basically said that he told them that they didn't win. They were like,
Oh,
"Oh,
he
no."
lied.
They were like,
Oh,
"Nope,
and then he
sorry.
just
They
kept-
settled for
that's
nothing.
nice.
Sorry." And then he kept the money.
Wow. He'll get the Uncle June treatment. He'll just get an ankle bracelet and have to stay at home.
Well, he's 86 years old. So he doesn't need an ankle bracelet. He just needs a staircase.
How many
a
millions did he steal?
Staircase.
10.
10.
Tom Girardi,
10
how much
million?
did he steal? It just says millions.
Oh.
Yeah, it doesn't.
When are we going to see Real Housewives of Minnesota?
Yeah, when?
I thought there was one.
No.
Or I thought that. Oh, maybe they shopped it and it didn't work.
Of the
I think that they
Midwest.
tried.
Really?
I think. Yeah, I thought that there was like a casting call or something here.
I'm sure they tried to do it in every city in the country for a brief period.
Just throw
there.
my wife in there with a bottle of wine and they'll get the most Minnesotan
That's true.
ever. You hear how Minnesota she is when she visits
Oh,
with you
yes.
guys.
Oh.
When
yeah.
she has a drink or two in her,
Oh, yeah.
holy Christmas. She
Yeah,
just
you
is.
know.
Oh, yeah, Tom. Oh, yeah, no. I don't understand.
no.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
right.
no.
Oh, yeah, no.
Oh, wait, is that a yes or a no? No, yeah. what? I'm confused. What is going on?
That is true.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, no means no. No, yeah means yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah.
Means yes.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
and no
for
just
sure is
means
yes.
that they're segueing to another thought.
Yeah.
It doesn't actually mean
Yeah,
no.
anything specific.
And my ADHD wife means it could go any direction. I'm not sure.
So I have a question for you.
Sure.
I've noticed, and maybe it's just me finally noticing, people are the money grubbingest pigs on earth now. I mean, it's so hideous.
There it is.
Hey,
Well,
we were
it's
waiting.
true.
How long?
You
We
just
were
wait,
waiting.
you just
45
noticed that
minutes.
now? No, you didn't. I've been talking to you for 10 years, and you've
No, but
noticed
I mean,
it every
it's-
time.
Yeah.
It's worse by the year.
I
It's
don't
never
think
enough
so.
money.
I
Never
think,
enough.
I think you're just. I think it's just all over the place.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah,
now
like-
in our face.
like-
Everybody's
well,
always
like
been
in Minnesota
that way. Yeah.
with the feeding our future fraud.
Oh God, there's been so much fraud in Minnesota.
Hundreds of millions
Yeah.
of dollars,
Yep.
and you're supposed to be feeding kids. It's like the worst of the
Yep.
How much do they need
worst.
to eat, though, Catherine? They got 10%.
I
We don't
mean,
really need
Exactly.
that
It's just
much.
unbelievable.
I'd get up. I'd have a Pop Tart in the morning. I'd come back home at dinner time. I didn't need lunch.
There
Yeah.
you go.
I keep
Yeah.
giving these kids dollar bills. They just won't eat them. They must not be hungry.
That's
Yeah,
right.
and,
Exactly.
And Minnesota, of course, it's like, oh, they're feeding children. Of course, we'll just pour money down.
Yep.
Yeah, and
Yep.
where's the funnel? We'll just shovel it in, and then yeah.
That's why you got to stick with like Second Harvest Heartland and a few
Yeah,
of those
Yes.
organizations
absolutely.
that every buck
Yeah.
gives like $10 worth of food. It's insane. It's
Yep.
really good.
That's
Yeah,
the
they've
way
been
to
around
go.
forever, and they're legitimate.
Although
Yeah.
that, and I don't want to get sued, but I thought that Cars for Kids thing proved out that
Oh.
whoever ran it and owned it, like a very small percentage of the money actually went to
there's-
that.
There's
Right.
a lot of
Right.
places where who are people that are renting it are making almost $1 million a year, and you got to wonder.
I think they're making more than that because now, if you listen to their ad, not only are they accepting cars, but property,
Yeah,
homes,
property, yes, right.
financial donations, whatever.
Yep.
Yeah. So if you want to donate your house,
1877, whatever you got.
yeah.
1877 non-sequential unmarked bills for kids.
Please.
Did you ever see? Did you ever watch that show, The Good Place?
Yeah.
Yes.
When
Yeah,
they're in
that was
hell,
the hell of a the
yeah,
hell
when they're in
anthem.
hell at the board meeting and they go, let's start with our board meeting song here in hell, and they start singing the 1877 Cars for Kids theme because it's the most torturous song and it's played everywhere. I didn't know it was outside of Minnesota. But,
I didn't either.
Yeah.
Yep, it's
Yeah,
everywhere.
I didn't either, yeah.
It's national for sure.
It just, how do you sit at night brushing your teeth, looking in the mirror and going, God, what a great guy I am.
Because they're counting their cash.
I don't
They're
think
like,
they
I
do.
don't.
Pig. Ugh.
There's just special kind of people that think that stealing makes them smarter than you.
Yeah, well, that's true. But that is true.
But that is nothing new. That has been
No.
You know, when we were doing the Ghosts of Devil's Perch, here we are in Butte, Montana, living there for 4 months, learning the history and talking to, and all of the famous people, all of the founders are the names you know when you're in Butte, right?
Sure.
Then you forget the tens of thousands of people who died in the mines or from associated tragedies who brought the money up to those people.
Right.
And they didn't care.
No.
They got their money.
No.
They paid. I mean, they paid well for the time for these miners, but it wiped people out left and right. And mines were collapsing. They're like, "Oh, that's horrible. We have to open up a new mine." So greed is good, right? Isn't that what Gordon Gekko told us
what he
in
said, greed is good,
Wall Street? Greed works. Greed is a fundamental of our society.
It's a driver.
Yeah.
But you didn't earn it, so how can you be proud of yourself? Because you didn't earn the money.
But
You
they did.
stole it.
They stole it. That's like earning.
That's
Well,
not
right-
like
certain-
earning.
Right
yeah,
now, though,
some
we're
people,
in a
that's
culture
how it
where
is.
money doesn't mean what it used to, right?
That's
like I
right.
sit there listening to my
Right.
daughters going, I'm not going to take a job for $17 an hour. And I'm like, what the? My first job was washing dishes for $2.85 at Wing Hing Chop Suey in Roselle, Illinois.
you
And
go.
it never made it home because directly next door was the comic book shop. So I'd get my $5 a week and I'd walk in and buy 12 comic books. And my mom would go, where's your money? I'm like, right here. I got the new Spider-Man. But my kids, but the thing is too, you look at people that are making $20-25 an hour. Wow, that's amazing money.
I know.
No,
is.
it's not.
No, it's
But
not.
it's
Not
not
anymore.
compared to how much things actually cost.
That was that kid that blew up on the internet. That he was like 19, 20 years old a couple years ago. If you can find it, Andy, you should play it for your dad sometime. It's pretty amazing. But he breaks it down. He goes, "Explain to me how I'm making $25 an hour and I still have to live with my parents because I can't afford my own home."
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm not spending. But to buy a home and do all this, $25 an hour means you take home $15 an hour, right? Or
right,
$18 an hour. And then that $18 an hour, which still sounds amazing to me, who earned $335 at his next job, right? And worked at that forever. When I was doing Darkness Radio, I've been off of the air officially for about 7-8 years now
Right.
from that channel. And at my peak, I was making $10.65 an hour. And we were the number one show from 9 o'clock to midnight.
Makes zero
And
sense.
they called me in. When they called me in to give me my raise, they're like, we have something we want to talk to you about. Can you come in? I had to drive all the way to the station. And I'm like, yeah. And they go, because of the quality of the work and da-da-da-da. I kid you not. I went from $10.55 an hour to $10.65 an hour. And I looked at him, I go, thanks. And he goes, well, you're not happy with that? And I go, it cost me more money to drive in for you to tell me I just made
Yeah.
10 cents more
I
an
work
hour.
for you and I need food stamps.
For my three-hour
Thanks.
show, I just earned 30 cents more
Oh
a
my
night.
God.
I know.
Yeah,
It's,
Could have been a
that's
phone
just
call.
tragic, isn't
But
it?
people now,
Stop.
they don't want a job that's less than $20 an hour. And
Well-
even then, but I'm not going to do it for fast food.
Oh.
Why not? $20 an hour is $20 an hour. So a lot of people would rather stay living at their parents' house, suckle off the teat of society, and
Well,
not work.
There have been a lot of
$40,000 a year.
But there's a lot of people that have been posting about their costs, especially you
Right.
want to live in a big city. It is so expensive. Rent
Yeah.
is $3,000,
Yeah.
so maybe $2,000 for a tiny little one bedroom. A car,
Yeah.
I mean, if you just look at insurance payments, healthcare costs,
Sure.
all that stuff, they're basically saying that if you live in a larger city, you have to make close to $200,000
Oh,
a
yeah,
year to just
absolutely.
live like normal, like a normal
Absolutely.
person that can go out to dinner once in a while and take a vacation, one vacation a year. That's how much you have to have. So, yeah.
I have no shame in saying this. My monthly bills that I out of pocket I have to come up with every month is $10,500.
Easy. Yeah.
And it's every month.
Yeah.
And I don't have a real job. I've got a podcast. I've got live events I go do and
But you're
book
working.
writing. Right. But
Yeah.
my job is 30 jobs. I have
Right.
money coming in from
Right.
all these different sources. And a lot of people just don't want to put in effort to make the money to survive.
This is true.
And
But
yeah, it's weird. And then you got people that are like, why do I have to pay to come see you? And I'm like, I'm giving up my weekend for my family and I'm
Right.
coming to see you and I'm sharing my information. I'm not asking a lot, right? When we do these kind of things at conferences, but sometimes people get really touchy about the fact that they had to pay $25 to
do you
come
know
to
how
a
much
conference.
it costs to maintain all
Right?
of this?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, there you go.
Everybody's like, Dave, you look great. You lost 55 pounds. I said, it's not great. I can't eat anymore. I have to parcel with my kids.
I know, it's
Tonight,
in-
you get the macaroni, you get the powdered
it's
cheese.
absolutely insane.
We'll be back in 60 seconds. You're listening to me, your customers are listening to us, and they'll hear us promote your business. Tom Bernard Podcast attracts thousands of listeners who are loyal, engaged, and ready to support businesses that they trust. Our podcast has helped, I don't even know how many, numerous businesses increase traffic, sales, brand recognition. We're not just about ads, we're about results. Whether you're a local business or a national brand, we offer custom advertising packages designed to fit your unique needs and goals. Our audience spans multiple demographics, allowing you to target your ideal customers with precision, from millennials to baby boomers and everyone in between. With the broad reach of the show and passionate following, your business will see increased visibility and awareness, translating into more customers and more sales. Catherine, you got to be out of here by
My
about
goodness, well, it's
1:45.
11:40 already.
Yep.
I know, that went by fast.
I
We got
have to
5
go
more.
now.
We have to go now?
Yes.
Well, we can just wrap it up if you want.
Well, I think he has more to say. I don't know.
I think, well...
I'm your guest. I will come and go as you throw me out
that's
the
what I'm
door.
saying.
So yeah, it's
Darkness
all good.
Dave should be on the show more than you. Because
I'd love
back
to.
in the days, it was wonderful. I used to love that.
I'd love to. Just let me
You're
know.
leaving, but Alex isn't?
I don't have to teach
Oh, that's right. You don't have
school
to teach anything.
anymore.
Well, we'll leave in 5 minutes. That'll be good. It's kind of wrap
Bye,
things
Catherine.
up.
Great seeing you.
But no, it'd be great to see you come back in because
Sure.
we've had so much fun with this whole situation.
Yeah.
There's no question. And what year did you start coming into the show?
I don't know. It doesn't seem like it was, but I think it's been close to 10 years.
I think that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, because I'm like, oh, but I think I just started visiting with Tom like 3 or 4 years ago. I'm like, no, that would have been after COVID.
No, it was well before
well
that.
before
12
COVID.
years? Is that what you said?
It was in the old building that you guys were in with the comedy club downstairs.
Oh, yeah.
That was the Itasca building, and we moved out of there in 2018. So at
my
least
God.
7 years.
Yeah, I think it's been about 10 because I was
About
going over to
10,
that
yeah.
one for 2 or 3 years.
Yep.
Yep.
So, yeah, it's crazy. Time flies, huh?
I remember I met Cassie at our 500th show, and this was in like 2013 or something
Really?
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, like we've known your family for quite some time.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy how fast time goes, right? I mean, my grandson, the twins, we call them, graduated on Saturday from high school.
Oh, yeah.
Cassie's son, Charlie, is 1 month older than my daughter, Ripley.
Yeah.
And they look like twins.
Really?
It's really creepy and weird, but cool. And they both graduated last Saturday. One was at noon, one was at 7 o'clock at night.
Oh, of course.
And
7 o'clock at night.
Yeah, I know. Well, they do a lot on that Saturday. I think they had like 3 graduations that day that went through Mariucci Arena. But yeah, time flies, man. It was when I started this, my daughter was just born, Ripley.
Oh,
she
yeah?
was just born when I started doing Darkness Radio.
Yep.
And now she's, 19 years old, almost 19 years old, just graduated high school. It's nuts. But it's been a fun ride. Now I've got a show. Can I mention the radio station I'm on?
Whatever you want to do.
Sunday
pal.
nights, 7 to 9 p.m. I have the Paranormal 360 And I'm on WCCO radio, which is a kick to be on, the old
I agree.
established
It's a
radio.
legendary radio
I
station.
love that. So yeah, I'm on Sunday nights 7 to 9 p.m. Paranormal 360, and you can find that podcast version wherever you listen to podcasts. So Paranormal 360, and then my regular show is Paranormal 60, and that comes out live on YouTube Monday and Wednesday nights. So just look up Paranormal 60, or you can subscribe to the audio version of the podcast. And I have a whole little network now. So on my network, I've got Mondays, we've got New England Legends. Tuesdays is Paranormal 60. Wednesday, we have the Monsters Lounge with Jenny and Tressa. Thursday, we have Paranormal 60 News. Friday, we have True Hauntings podcast from Australia. And then Cassie has a show on Sundays and Saturdays called the Mysteries, Mayhem, and Merlot, where she looks at all kinds of weird, fun
so she
stories.
gets to drink wine while she's talking about it.
Yeah.
There's a shock.
Yeah.
There's a shock for you.
So-
No, Chad Hartman obviously works with you.
Yeah.
And you got Jason DeRush is a great guy.
Oh, yeah.
Who's doing the morning show now?
That is Jordana and Adam. Jordana Green.
Who's
and,
another
God,
really
my
nice
brain
person.
is fried out. Adam Carter.
Adam Carter.
Yeah,
okay.
great people. And then you've got Vanita Sakar is doing like the 6 to 9, and then 9 to noon is
Chad, I think.
no, 9 to noon is their morning show. That is Adam and Jordana, and then at noon I think is Chad Hartman, and then DeRush is like 3 to 6.
Yeah, 3 to
and
6.
then Henry Lake is on 6 to 9.
Oh, that's right. Henry Lake's on there too.
Yeah.
Legendary radio station.
Yeah.
It was what was the highest rated radio station in America, and then we got lucky enough to take that position. We became the highest rated radio station in the country after that, and now that does break my heart that radio is just coming apart at the seams.
Well, I think if you find an interesting in, there's still love out there for it.
Oh, I think so, yeah.
And people are still, we still get young people that tune in and listen to talk radio, believe it or not, because they listen to it with their parents. And I always thought, God, I'll never listen to talk radio when I grow up, because my parents listen to WGN and all of those in Chicago. And I'm like, oh, boring old people stuff. And now that I'm a boring old person, I love talk radio. I love listening to people's insights and thoughts and
absolutely
where they're coming from with these ideas. And you just never know what's going to take off.
Magnificent to see you. But yeah, you
too.
and Andy talk about whenever you can come in. I'd love to have you, because we always have interesting conversations with you.
I'd love to. Yeah.
And when your wife comes in, she just yells at me. So it's one of
Oh,
those.
so it's just like being at home.
like being at home.
She's texting me right now.
We've actually been trying to get you on for a while, but you were doing something.
Well, I've been filming, and between the documentary, the TV show, and then traveling for events, I'm home like middle of the week is always good for me, like a Wednesday.
Okay.
Swing
Well,
out
that's
to do these
the
things.
perfect day anyway, so there you go.
I usually leave on Thursdays, and Monday and Tuesday is catch up.
Yep.
So
yeah, we'll absolutely. Well, you and Andy stay in touch, and whenever you can come in, that'd be great.
Yeah, and if any of your listeners
see
want to
you.
join me at the Palmer House this October for a Holzer Files reunion,
gotta do that.
darknessevents.com. Go. There are tickets available. It's going to be a full weekend of investigating, fun, talks. We have a Halloween costume party and contest that'll be taking place, so it's going to be a good time.
Why don't you guys bring the families up? We'll all go up.
I don't think the kids can go to that.
Why not?
The soul-eating demons in the basement.
Well, yeah. Considering my son is 3, I mean,
Be a little early.
I mean,
How
he
can
actually.
your son be 3 already?
Yeah, we got it.
Wow.
He's 3.5, and we got a 9-month-old.
Fawn just turned 9.
Yeah, Fawn's 9 years
9
old.
years old now.
Creepers.
I know. When is the last time you met Ethan? Have you met Ethan?
No.
No, I didn't think so.
So it's been 3.5 years
it's
since
been-
I've not met
yeah.
Ethan. Yeah.
Infinity amount of years since
Yeah.
you've met Ethan.
That is going to do it. Great show today, but please, you're always welcome.
Thank you very much. Good seeing you guys. Thanks for having me in.
Talk to you later. Bye.